Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm going to be giving you a guide of how to win the anniversary challenge. So this is going to be 9 wins before you get 4 losses, and you get a mega box for it, and I believe some other rewards as well, which should be pretty epic. You can buy your way back into this with gems, but obviously no one wants to be wasting gems. They don't have to. So today I'm going to be telling you the best tips, best brawlers, all the maps, and of course the best star powers, best gadgets will be down below as usual if I don't mention them in the video, but this should be a lot of fun. Before we jump into it, make sure you're subscribed. Of course, if you're picking anything up in the shop, make sure you're using code TOM. And of course, go to the shop, get your free items because we're getting free pins today. Looks like we're gonna get a Tara pin. Definitely pretty happy about that one. Maybe it'll help me hit my pulls. I don't know. Anyway, let's get into the guide, and yeah, let's start off with the first map. Okay, so hopping into the first map then, of course, I'm only giving you guys free-to-play comps as well. So if you don't have all of these brawlers, you will definitely have the free-to-play comp. So this first comp then, which I really would recommend, Tara is the best lane brawler for this map, no questions asked. Make sure you're using the gadget where you're going to spawn 3 of those Tara pets. You're going to be able to win lanes so easily. Tara the best brawler on this map in my opinion. And then next up we have Jean in the mid. So this one you can have Jean or Belle, but I feel like Jean's a lot safer. Also down those lanes, if you're helping the lane with Jean, you're about to scan those lanes a lot better with Jean than you are with Belle. So definitely Jean probably slightly better than Belle, but Belle going to be pretty good nevertheless. Also, the third brawler here, honestly, you can change it a little bit. You could go with an Ems. I decided to go with a Crow here, but honestly, you know, Crow can get overran just because you don't really have a lot of HP. So if you're up against maybe a tough matchup for Crow, maybe send Jean and Crow on the same lane. That's one thing you should definitely do, is make sure your mid's helping out with their lanes a lot. And yeah, just make sure you're trying to hold that lane. If you're playing Tara, just sit in there. Really be aggressive at the start of the game to try and get control of that bush, because it is just so important. And once you get in there, you should be able to stay in there. So just make sure you try and push for that control in at least one of those lanes. Tara should be able to win lane against pretty much anything, especially at the start of the game with that super or with the gadget, and then at the end of the game you should be able to hold that lane with your super. Anyway, let's get into the free-to-play comp. Okay, so for the free-to-play comp here, Ems is going to be a great lane. Same with Rosa. Make sure you're using that slow gadget with Rosa. You want to make sure you're using all those slow gadgets straight away, basically. You want to get as much control, especially if you can hit all the 3 enemies as well. Make sure you're getting really good value from those Rosa gadgets. As I said, Ems going to be a really good pick here as well. And then I put Jessie in mid because honestly, there's not a lot of free-to-play mids, and I feel like Jessie is definitely the best one on this map. But as I said, if you have Jean or Belle, they're probably both better than Jessie here. But Jessie's not a bad shout. Anyway, as I said, you know, make sure you're pushing up, trying to get control. You should be able to get it pretty easily, and if you're Ems, you can kind of push up, and once you get your super, you can just hit behind this mid wall and kind of cause a lot of pressure. Of course, make sure you're using that healing star power. The Ems very OP if you get pushed up. And yeah, I actually really like this comp. Don't feel like it's too much worse than the other one. Ems can definitely be a really good lane here. Same with Rosa. The only thing about Rosa, obviously, it's a little bit easier to get countered. So if you're up against like 2 tank counts, it might be tough with Rosa. But yeah, Rosa should be pretty good anyway. So yeah, Rosa definitely a good pick. Just because you have a lot of HP, you can push up into that zone pretty easily. Anyway, let's get into the second map. Okay, so jumping into the next map then, it's going to be Bounty on Landahoy. So yeah, there's a ton of throwers on this map. Definitely recommend going at least Tick. Probably Sprout as well is going to be very good. Also, just a Jean in mid is going to be very safe as well. But yeah, definitely be careful on this map. I feel like a lot of people are going to be playing double thrower, so I feel like people are probably going to be going aggressive comps as well, just to counter the double thrower comps that a lot of people will be running. So I don't know if a lot of people will be playing like aggressive comps, but if you see Poker or a tank or a lot of Mortis, then I would definitely recommend swapping out that Sprout for like a Stu or something that's going to deal better with those tanks. And you can even swap out Tick as well. I don't know how many tanks there's going to be, but Tick is usually pretty safe just because you have those gadgets. You also have your supers as well, which are going to help you defend against Mortis and things like that. So Tick's a little bit safe. Obviously, Jean is pretty safe as well. But if you're facing a lot of aggro, swap out that Sprout for like a Stu or just something that deals better with those aggressive comps. And yeah, that should definitely help you out here. But this is the pay-to-win comp. It does have Tick in it, but obviously Jean and Sprout mythics as well. But Tick, probably the best brawler on this map. If you want to swap out Jean, you could do for Piper, but again, or even Belle. But I feel like Piper can get countered by Mortis and things like that. Also, it's going to be lower HP, so those throwers are going to be able to deal with it a little bit better. So I feel like Jean is definitely safer here as a mid compared to Piper. So as for the free-to-play comp then, as I said, Stu also going to be very good. Obviously, you can keep that tick as well. And then Piper, if you don't have Piper, honestly, you can go a lot of things. You can go Brock, Jessie, anything with like a bit of range you can put in mid. You can even put Tick mid, but honestly, Tick is so good lane. I would definitely recommend just having something else mid, like a Brock, a Piper, someone that has a decent amount of range, and you're going to be able to do very, very well. So yeah, Stu, obviously very, very OP as well. But against two throwers, you might have a little bit of a problem getting that first super and just pushing up in general, because obviously they're going to spam you out and it's pretty tough to get up on this map. You have to be careful though. Make sure you're just holding those lanes. Obviously the left lane is definitely the better lane, so I feel like if you're on the left lane, you probably should be pushing your enemy back. If you're in the right lane, you probably should be sitting back maybe a little bit more, because you are going to get pushed back. But I definitely like the Piper comp as well. If you can hit your shots, you just have to be a little bit more careful against those more aggressive comps. But Piper can definitely still work in mid. Make sure you use an ambush, and obviously that nuke of a gadget, and yeah, you should be pretty good. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this map. Let's jump into the final map. Okay, so next up then we have, or finally I should say, we have triple dribble here. And of course it's going to be Brawl, because that's the mode that triple dribble is on. Anyway, I recommend going max Jean here, and then probably an Ems, as like this is the main comp here. You don't really need to go Stu, but I feel like this comp can deal with everything. It's so good. Make sure you're using obviously the max star power, where you don't even have to shoot anyone to get your super. You just have to run around. You're gonna get so many more supers. And honestly, make sure you're combining the M super, the max super, and the Jean super. When you get that max speed, pop it, and or wait till your M's and Jean have super, and then your M's can literally just run up to them with M super and should be able to absolutely destroy them. If you feel like Ems isn't working, Max Jean is definitely really good, so I would still recommend going with them. Maybe you can swap out Ems for like a Tara, or maybe even a Stu, or something like a Surge. But yeah, if you're struggling with Stus, then definitely swap out to a Tara with those gadgets. It's definitely about to counter Stu, but I feel like this comp can really deal with anything as long as you use those supers well and you play as a team. Make sure you're obviously speeding everyone in the team, and yeah, you should be good with this comp. It can pretty much be anything. And finally then, of course, the free-to-play comp that you've probably all been waiting for here. We have Tick, Stu, and then B. Obviously Stu, a great brawler for a trophy road brawler, really easy to unlock. So yeah, Stu is a great pick, counters a ton of things, and Tick obviously really annoying. Make sure you're playing Stu on the left hand side, make sure you're playing Tick in the mid, and obviously B on the open lane. It does actually switch depending on what side you spawn, so make sure you have the Stu on the closed lane where those 4 boxes are, where I'm going to now, and have B on the other lane, of course Tick in mid. I forgot to mention actually with the other comp, you want M's on the closed side where those 4 boxes are. You want Jean and Max to be kind of hovering around mid, and the open side, which is the right side as you see on the screen right now. But yeah, this comp very good. I just recommend Tick as soon as you spawn in, just literally spam the choke points, because most likely they don't have the perfect spawns. They're going to be swapping to them, so I would recommend, yeah, just spamming them out, so either they take a lot of damage when they spawn or try and like swap sides, or they maybe even die. So yeah, make sure you're spamming their spawn where they spawn as soon as you spawn in. Should be able to get some nice damage and maybe even some kills. Obviously B on that open lane, and then Stu on the closed lane. Make sure you're getting that gadget down for Stu behind some walls. Hopefully they don't have a thrower so they can't take it out, because the gadget for Stu really underrated and can definitely be very good. And yeah, you should be good. Just make sure you play it slow. Don't rush your goals too much, and definitely make sure you have the ball in like an accessible position, not in the corner. Make sure you have control of it somewhere in the middle, up on their walls if you do have pressure. And if you're defending, you're getting pushed back, make sure you try and get control of the ball, and basically just put it in your corner. That way, if they get a team kill or they get a good opportunity to score, they won't have the ball to score, so you should be good. And yeah, ball control is really underrated in Brawl, so definitely make sure you have it if you're on the offense, and if you're defending or getting pushed back, make sure you put it in the corner. And if you want to be really cheesy and you go 1-0 up, you can put the ball in the corner and kind of just play really defensively. But I don't know if you want to do that. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the final game. Okay, guys, that's going to wrap up the video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more videos, more guides like this. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.